they refused to release it. In April 2026, Anthropic unveiled Claude Mythos Preview. It was their most capable model ever. It could find security vulnerabilities across every major operating system and web browser. Anthropic looked at what they'd built and said, "We are not releasing this." So instead, they created Project Glasswing, a collaboration with Amazon, Apple, Google, Cisco, Microsoft, and JP Morgan Chase. Anthropic gave them usage of Mythos to find and patch vulnerabilities in critical infrastructure before anyone else could exploit them. Noble, and also very good PR. They expanded Mythos to hundreds of organizations across 15 countries. Then, on the 9th of June 2026, they said, "Okay, fine guys, you can all have it." Sort of. Here's what Fable 5 actually is. Fable 5 is Anthropic's most capable widely released model. Mythos 5 is the same underlying model, but with the safety guardrails lifted in certain areas. Fable 5 is what you get. Mythos 5 is what the people Anthropic has specifically vetted and approved get. I am not on this list, and chances are you aren't either. Let's get back to this later. Now, let's get into the actual numbers. Context window, 1 million tokens. That's the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy, 40 times over in a single conversation. Maximum output per request, 128,000 tokens. That is not a typo. Pricing, $10 per million input tokens, $50 per million output tokens. Exactly double Claude Opus 4.8. We will talk about whether that's worth it. Knowledge cutoff, January 2026. API model, string, Claude Fable 5. No date suffix, just that. One more number that matters and that nobody talks about, the tokenizer. Fable 5 uses the tokenizer introduced with Opus 4.7, which means the same block of text produces roughly 30 to 35% more tokens than it did in older Claude models.
Not cool!
Update your cost estimators before you ship. So what does it actually do? Software engineering, vision, knowledge work, science.
Oh boy.
Stripe tested Fable 5 on a 50 million line Ruby codebase. The model performed a codebase-wide migration in a single day that would have taken a whole engineering team over 2 months by hand. Previous Claude models needed complex helper harnesses just to play Pokemon Fire Red. Fable 5 beat the entire game using only raw game screenshots. No maps, no navigation aids, no extra tools. It just looked at the screen and won. OS World verified the computer used benchmark 85%. It can also rebuild a web app's source code entirely from a screenshot. On Hebia's Finance benchmark for senior level reasoning, highest score of any model tested. Trading analysis evaluations from IMC. Nearly perfect scores across factual lookup, root cause analysis, and expected value analysis. Fable 5 maintains focus across millions of tokens in long-running tasks. It takes notes on itself. It improves its outputs using those notes. When Anthropic had it play Slay the Spire with persistent file-based memory, its performance improved 3 times more than the same setup improved Opus 4. It also reached the game's final act 3 times more often. This is not a chatbot. This is an autonomous agent that can work for days with its only limitation is cost. This is where it gets genuinely surreal. Using Mythos 5, Anthropic's protein design team accelerated drug design by around 10 times. The model, with bioinformatics tools, no human help, matches and beats skilled human scientists. It chooses binding sites, runs protein design tools, recovers from failures. 9 out of 14 protein targets yielded strong drug design candidates. They are currently under investigation. And Mythos 5 is the first Claude model to consistently produce novel scientific hypotheses.
Oh my god!
In blind comparisons, Anthropic scientists preferred its molecular biology hypotheses over Opus class models 80% of the time.
We are
Here's the leash. Fable 5 ships with safety classifiers. When a request touches certain topics, it does not complete the request. It reroutes it to Claude Opus 4.8 instead. The 3 trigger domains: offensive cybersecurity, biology and life sciences, and chemistry and distillation. The critical detail: benign work in these areas can also trigger the classifiers. A security researcher asking a completely legal question. A biology student asking about mechanisms. It catches them too.
Why me?
Anthropic says the classifiers trigger in fewer than 5% of sessions on average. They also say the safeguards are tuned conservatively and they're working to reduce false positives as fast as they can. For developers, the fallback is automatic. The request gets served by Opus 4.8. You don't see an error, you see a normal response. The billing difference. A request refused before any output costs you nothing. When the fallback fires, the prompt cache cost of the switch is refunded. One last thing on the leash. Fable 5 and Mythos 5 are what Anthropic calls covered models. 30-day retention of your inputs and outputs, mandatory. Zero data retention agreements do not apply. If ZDR is contractual for your organization, stay on Opus 4.8. Now for the developers. The biggest change from every previous Claude model, adaptive thinking is always on. There is no syncing configuration to set, no token budget to tune, no way to turn it off. The model decides per request, per step, whether to reason and how deeply. You steer depth with one parameter, the effort parameter. 5 levels: low, medium, high, X high, and max. Default is high, start there. Use low or medium when latency matters more than quality. Use X high or max for long, complex, autonomous tasks. Pass it as .effort file in your request body. Raw chain of thought is never returned on Fable 5. If you need readable reasoning, add thinking display to be summarized. The default is omitted, which returns empty thinking blocks. When Fable 5 declines a request, the messages API returns an HTTP 200, not a 4XX, not an error. Your existing error-based retry logic will sail right past it. You will not know the request was declined. You will wonder why the output looks like Opus 4.8. It is Opus 4.8. You have 3 fallback options. Server side, pass the fallbacks parameter and the API retries for you. Client side, SDK middleware for TypeScript, Python, Go, Java, and C#, or manual, build the retry logic yourself. Remember when I said there's a secret version you'll never touch? Claude Mythos 5. Same underlying model as Fable 5. No safety classifiers in restricted domains. Available only to vetted Project Glasswing partners. Approved by Anthropic and the US government. It has the strongest cybersecurity capabilities of any AI model in the world. If you somehow are in Project Glasswing, you already know. If you're wondering if you qualify, you don't. Anthropic says they intend to expand Mythos 5 access through a broader trusted access program. Yeah, it's gone. As of 13th of June 2026, Claude Fable 5, aka the world's most powerful AI agent, is offline, not deprecated, not paused for maintenance. It is pulled by order of the United States government.
Genuinely.
Yeah, bad.
That is a genuinely new category of problem, not AI safety in the abstract, not a trolley problem. A government deciding that a product is too capable to be public. Not yet. Maybe not ever. The API strings are still in the docs. The benchmarks are still real. But AI agent is gone. Fable 5 is not a drop-in replacement for every API call you make. It's slower. Adaptive syncing adds latency. It has mandatory data retention. It has classifiers that reroute traffic without warning. But for the hard work, the code-based migrations, nobody else has been able to automate the drug targets. There is now a model that does it in a day. That's kind of terrifying. That's kind of the point. If you want to go deeper, every number in this video is sourced from Anthropic's official announcement, the API docs, and the system card. Links in the description. And for more, subscribe